Oh, blimey. Hey, cheers, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favourite movies. And today, we're going to do a movie review on another Oscars Best Picture nominee, and this time it would be The Favourite by Yorgos Lanthimos. So, Yorgos Lanthimos is a director from Greece. You may know him from as the director of The Lobster, which is a movie that didn't come out too long ago, and then now he comes out with The Favourite, and it's a special movie. It really is a special movie. It's way more different than all his previous movies in his filmography, and it had gotten a Best Picture nom. So I watched it. I haven't watched it before the end of 2018, and now that I've watched it, I can tell you that if I can, remake my best movies list, I would probably put The Favourite in number 2 of the year, or maybe tie with number 1 with Avengers Infinity War, because it's just really good. So, The Favourite is actually a period movie that's set in the early 18th century in the United Kingdom. I wasn't a huge fan of, I guess, neoclassical, old, but not really medieval old, like after the medieval times period kind of history. I'm not a huge fan of that. But after watching this movie, I'm actually a little bit intrigued. And anyway, back then, the Queen of Britain is Queen Anne, and we also have Lady Sarah Churchill, not Lady Sarah Churchill, aka Lady Marlborough, who is a friend with Queen Anne, and then we also have Sarah's cousin, Abigail Hill, who is later known as Abigail Masham because she married another person, and that person's family name is Masham. And then we also have Nicholas Hoult, and Mark Gatiss is apparently in the movie. Mark Gatiss plays Sarah's husband, Marlborough, and then we also have Nicholas Hoult in the movie playing one of the Whigs or one of the Tories. The Whigs and the Tories are the two opposing political parties back then in the UK, and Nicholas Hoult plays Mr. Harley. And I've checked, I've looked it up in Wikipedia, and apparently Mr. Harley had been both a Whig and a Tory before, so I'm not really sure which side he was on in the movie. Look, man, I don't know that much about English history, so, cut me some slack here. But, so we have Queen Anne of Great Britain, and then we have Sarah Churchill, Lady Marlborough, and then her cousin suddenly decided to show up in the castle wanting to be employed. But, of course, Sarah didn't like Abigail at all in the beginning, and, employed her as a servant, as someone who is low class, even though she was a lady before. But unfortunately, she had to sell herself in the streets. And through some incidents later on, Abigail managed to get close to Queen Anne more and more and more, and Queen Anne started to prefer Abigail over Sarah throughout time. And thus, the title of the movie, The Favourite, Abigail became Queen Anne's favorite. And it really pissed Sarah off, and for a bulk of the movie, it's this back and forth fight between Sarah and Abigail, and each one wants to become the favorite of the queen by actually doing favors for the queen. And that's basically the plot of the movie. In the beginning, Abigail was a more innocent and a more naive person, but as the movie grows, she becomes more and more deceptive and smart. Oh my god. And that's what I really, really like about Abigail's character is that her character arc is actually pretty significant. She went from being a servant to a maid of Sarah to become the bedchamber maid of Queen Anne, and at the end she became a lady. And yeah, let's talk about the performances first. Emma Stone as Abigail is amazing. Her British accent is awesome, and I really, really love that. I love accents and all, and this accent is not exactly like received pronunciation, but it has more of a posh vibe to it because they are noble people. They are royal people. And Emma Stone totally kills it. Rachel Weisz is also brilliant in the movie. A lot of emotions as well. And at the end, when Abigail went to the top and Sarah went to the bottom, Sarah really showed a lot of emotions. And of course, Olivia Colman as Queen Anne is awesome. Queen Anne is actually a really, I guess, she's not the type of queen that you would think she is. She's actually really, really lame, easily manipulated, and very emotionally unstable. And she's also a very spoiled queen who eats a lot of cake and then throws them up and then eats more of them so that she could eat more, I guess. And that come to think of it, that scene when Queen Anne ate a lot of cake and then threw up in a jar, and another scene, minor spoiler alert, when Sarah threw up in a jar because she was, a little drugged, and the other scene towards the end of the movie where Abigail threw up in a jar because she drank too much, they're all sort of related, and I love that. Anyway, Olivia Colman totally killed it, and Nicholas Hoult and Mark Gatiss, they're both also great in the movie, especially Nicholas Hoult. If there's one winner in the end of the movie that I actually think is the real winner, it would be Nicholas Hoult's character, Mr. Harley. And yeah, this movie, one of the reasons why this movie is slowly becoming my favorite movie of 2018, besides of Avengers Infinity War, is because of how idiosyncratic and eccentric it feels. The camera movements solely in the movie is already really entertaining. We always get these wide-angled lens, like they have a wider field of view than normal lens. We always get these fish-eyed lens, which makes the setting a little more lighthearted in a way, and we also get a lot of gorgeous tracking shots, as well as some really, really crazy 180 degree camera spins, turnarounds, and whoa. And of course, the production design of this thing is great. The makeup is pretty great. The costumes, they are also pretty great as well. And all of them together, it's almost as if Yorgos Lanthimos is trying to poke fun at how hideous, old England is. The, royal family of old England. And, yeah, it is kind of hideous. That's why this movie is not exactly a comedy, but neither is it exactly a drama. I feel like it's somewhere in between, and it's pretty hard to tell. But, whatever it is, it's still a very, very good period film, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the story is one of a kind. It's sort of based on what happened in real life. They are actually real people, but the writers and the screenplay writers of the movie sort of twisted it a little bit to make it a tad bit more entertaining, a tad bit more gruesome, actually, in some ways, a tad bit more gross, I guess. But Yeah, and the ending, I think if there's one problem with the movie, in my opinion, I think that's the ending, because I mean it's a good ending with a good message, but I just feel like they could have stuck the landing a little bit better. That's all. And yeah, it's a great movie. It's also separated into a lot of different chapters, and also the font of the title of the movie is like extremely centered. So it's THE and then favorite and with a U. So you can really tell how eccentric the movie's gonna be as soon as you see these, chapter titles and these title sequences and all. And overall, I love this movie. I think it's brilliantly directed, brilliantly acted. The story is solid, and I want to talk about the ending a little bit when Queen Anne, Abigail, and Queen Anne's pet rabbits all superimpose on top of one another, and then it just fades to black. It's like Abigail had finally won and became the favorite, but really, did she win? Did she actually win? Because now it seems like she's trapped in this toxic state of doing favors for the queen and not actually being free. And yeah, it's thought provoking. It really is. I am saying the favorite is yeah. The last time I gave a mind blowing, it was 2018 October. So yes, I'm giving it a mind blowing. I'm saying it's mind blowing, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, it kind of surprises me because now that I've watched this one, uh, movies like Black Panther, A Star Is Born, and Black Klansman and Bohemian Rhapsody, they all pale a little bit in comparison. I'm beginning to think that I should rate Black Panther lower, like from a 7.9, a score that I initially gave, to a 7.6, because in the full scheme of things, it's really nothing but another, I guess, a movie about a hero versus a villain. Black Klansman, while it's entertaining, it's good. It doesn't have the eccentricity and the style that I so desperately need as a person who loves movies. Yeah, and A Star Is Born also pales a little in comparison because it doesn't have the dynamic and the tension that a solid love story really needs, and I feel like it's a little bit dragged and it's a little bit choppy and messy. I still like it though. And for Bohemian Rhapsody, the reason why I think it pales a little in comparison is because it doesn't feel like a really realistic biopic. There are moments in the movie where it feels like it's a little forced, but nonetheless, it's still not boring at all, and the performances are great in the movie. And yeah, I haven't watched Vice, and after watching Vice, I'll rank all of the Best Picture noms together. And yes, so Bob's your uncle. What's your opinion on the movie? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.